Wow, what a picture. What an image. Look at that old school sign right there. A view that's very common along old Route 66.
I love old mid-century neon signs.
Something about it just says America.
This particular sun and sand sign is pretty famous.
Unfortunately, the actual motel itself,
where you used to get quality at a budget price, seems to be very much closed.
Too bad. This must have been a pretty cool looking place in its heyday.
Looks like it had some struggles here before the end though, huh?
Ah well.
Now this is lovely Santa Rosa, New Mexico.
Just stopping here for a little gas before I head west back to California.
But I don't think I'm gonna be able to get any here. Guess I better push on.
Last time we were here, we checked out this really cool car museum. If you get a chance, go back and watch that video. It was pretty fun.
But today I'm hoping to make it all the way to Albuquerque, so I better not linger. I just had to get a little bit of my vintage car fix for the day, you know? Alright, I'm pretty road warrior-y, but even I need to stop and use the facilities every now and then.
And what better place to do that than the historic and massive Klein's Corners?
Established in 1937 by Roy E. Klein, this place is massive. 80 years of selling sweet swag to tourists.
That's pretty darn sweet, don't you think?
Oh, it's fun for the whole family.
Oh, so many moccasins in here. I don't know, what do you guys think? Is this me?
I guess you're not supposed to wear socks with them. I mean, they're not called sockasins.
Pretty darn comfy though.
Of course, given the amount of time I spend outdoors, I really should get something like this. Just not sure I could pull that off either.
Ooh, Sedona.
Ooh, these guys creep me out now. Don't know why.
Oh my gosh, I found the ultimate t-shirt.
It even glows in the dark. Oh, perfect gift for Tyler. I'm gonna wear it first though.
Alright, let's go.
Alright, we're getting a lot closer to Albuquerque, but there's something that I really want to check out. We did a whole series of old Route 66 before, and we came this way.
But we missed out on a pretty cool feature up in the hills here because we were headed westbound instead of eastbound. We were on the wrong side. So hopefully up here, we can turn around and check it out.
You know those highway rumble strips? You know, the ones that make this noise?
Like, wake up!
Well, just off the interstate on old Route 66,
there's a pretty unusual one. Instead of being on the side of the highway over the line,
this one's actually inside the lane, and that's not all.
There's only a few of them in the world, but this isn't just a normal rumble strip and a normal road. This road is a musical road.
If cars slow down and put their right wheel over this weird rumble strip at 45 miles an hour, this road will play America the Beautiful.
Of course, it's kind of hard to hear from standing on the side of the road at just one little spot. Luckily, we've got an automobile at our disposal.
Now, I've driven this stretch of road many times and never heard the music,
because you've got to get your right tire to hit it just right.
But I think we can do this.
All right, we're getting close. Let's get the right tire ready.
Look for the sign.
Did you hear that? Oh, we've got to do that again.
Oh, that is really hard to catch because it's really hard to line your right tire up with it even when you know where it is.
Okay, one more try. It's such a difficult thing to pull off. You gotta be at just the right speed and just the right spot. But when it works, it's pretty cool. I don't know if you guys can hear the song, but it's America the Beautiful. I visited another musical road with you guys years ago out in Lancaster, California, or very near to. This one's a little different, a little less remote in that it's right next to the old interstate.
And this musical road was actually built for a TV show on National Geographic.
The other one was built for a car commercial, so similar, but just a little different. All right, one last time. From sea to shining sea.
It's amazing that they can do that, playing music with little grooves on the highway. Guess it's not much different than a record, though.
All right, and now it's down the mountains to Albuquerque.
And there you go. That's how you know we're in Albuquerque. Look at that. There's Walter White's house from Breaking Bad. I've really only seen a few episodes of that show, but it's Julio's favorite, so we had to come. do you think, buddy?
You're right, a lot of fences and a sign that says, please don't bother us, take your pictures from across the street.
That's a bummer. It's a bummer when people mess with houses that were used in TV shows to the point where they feel like they have to do that. Ugh.
Well, I'm really sorry that you can't take your picture right up on the front door or something like that, Julio, but you know, we gotta respect these people's property.
But you know, buddy, there's another place in town that you were saying you wanted to visit.
How about this, huh, Julio? How about the car wash from Breaking Bad?
Honestly, I think we could use a little bit of a car wash, buddy.
Aw, look how happy he looks. You look so happy, Julio.
Like I said, I've probably only seen 15, maybe 20 episodes of that show.
But Julio goes crazy for it. Well, you guys can't see, but there's actually a huge, long line waiting for the car wash on the other side, so maybe next time.
Someday after I've watched the whole show, I gotta come back and see some more of these places like Los Pollos Hermanos.
But I think that's enough for the moment. All right, got somewhere else to go visit.
And I think you're gonna like this place too, Julio.
Here it is, Julio, the National Museum of Nuclear Science and History. Now remember, let's stay together and... Julio? Oh man, he already ditched me.
Oh, would you look at the size of this place?
Look at all these Geiger counters. They're measuring how radioactive things are.
Whoa, look at this one. There's a family radiation measurement kit.
It wasn't that long ago that we were all expecting World War III complete with nuclear holocaust. Let's not forget the fun side of the nuclear era though, huh? Just think of all those comic book heroes.
Look at Atomic Mouse, for example.
There is a fun side to nuclear stuff.
Whoa, wait a minute, Doc.
Are you telling me this sucker is nuclear?
No. This sucker's electrical. I need a nuclear reaction to generate the 1.21 gigawatts of electricity I need.
There's a lot of stuff in this museum. Way more than I'm ever going to have time to see today. So I guess we're only going to have time for the big stuff. The problem is, there's a whole lot of big stuff. Look at these. Do you know what these are? This right here is a replica of Fat Man. This was the first nuclear weapon tested out here in the New Mexico desert. And boy, did it make a big impact, huh? Right next door to it is Little Boy, which was the first nuclear weapon that exploded over Hiroshima. Then right afterwards, they dropped another Fat Man right over Nagasaki. I almost always forget that the atomic bombs were basically designed, constructed, tested all out here in New Mexico. Look at this. This was the first atomic device they ever tested. Not a weapon, technically, I guess. It's codename Gadget. Ooh, and what a gadget. Now those two nukes, the only ones ever used in warfare so far, were very useful in ending World War II, but made the United States a crazy superpower. So of course, the Soviets had to get their hands on their own nukes. And that's where all of this stuff comes in.
Shoes, look at the size of these missiles.
Oh my gosh. Nuclear weapons everywhere. Of course, these are all just empty shells now. At least I hope.
Whoa, look at these.
Atomic warheads. These type of weapons. These were the things we thought were going to end the world. And honestly, they still could. We gotta be careful out there. Now, with the Soviet Union and the United States building nuke after nuke after nuke, each one more powerful and destructive than the last, people were prepared for nuclear war at any time. They were building fallout shelters in their basements. There were all kinds of drills and home protection exercises. It's a very scary time. I mean, I came into the world at the very, very tail end of the Cold War, and in all the movies and TV, and even in my elementary school, people still talked about World War III like it was a foregone conclusion, like it was going to happen. Well, I'm glad it hasn't happened yet. Alright, you guys know what I like to say. Inside is good. Inside is great. But if there's outside exhibits, then those are our fate. Wow. Wow. Holy cow. Just look at all the stuff out here.
Look at the size of this thing.
Wow, I gotta admit, when I think of nuclear missiles, I usually think of them being dropped out of planes or, you know, just launched from giant missile silos. I always forget that they had them on submarines prowling around silently all through the world's oceans, nuclear powered and with a nuclear payload. Whoa, look at this over here. Do you know what this is? That is a B-29 Super Fortress. At the end of World War II, this was the most sophisticated, the most amazing bomber ever created. It was a super fortress, much like this one right here that dropped the first nuclear bombs on Japan. Dude, that is a very, very large aircraft. That was some very technological stuff during World War II, and look at, there's its payload. Man, this stuff was so top secret back then. I mean, only a handful of people even knew that these things existed. Ooh, I love old World War II era planes, you know, the story is fascinating and all that, but nuclear bombs, Whoa, look looky what we have here.
If I'm not mistaken, this is a replica
of the tower out in the desert where they tested the gadget.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's where they tested it. Man, back then with the real deal, I'm pretty sure you would not want to be standing down here.
During the first nuclear test, they didn't know what it would do. Some people theorized that they might actually light the atmosphere on fire.
They were literally creating a super weapon that they were a little bit worried might destroy the whole Earth.
That's how desperate they were to end that war. More importantly, not to let, you know, the bad guys get these. Wow, there's a lot of stuff out here. There were some signs
saying the exhibits aren't finished, so they don't all have labels telling me what they are. I have no idea what this pointy fella is right here.
All I know is I wouldn't want it pointing at me. Ah, nothing like a jet on a pole, huh?
Not only did they have to develop nuclear weapons, they also had to develop supersonic flight and jets that could carry these things.
Pretty crazy seeing a whole yard full of potentially nuclear jets out here.
Look at this guy. This guy is very Cold War era looking.
Something about that snout there reminds me of being a little kid and getting those books about aircraft.
That is pretty cool looking. I love looking at old planes.
Oh, look at this one though. I'm no aviation expert, but I'm pretty sure this is the bad guy.
I don't know. Ours look a little shinier. What do you think?
Oh yeah, the idea of the Soviets bringing their weapons over here was very terrifying to all of our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents.
Looks a little rusty.
I wonder if they don't polish that one on purpose or what, but
gotta tell you, the American ones are looking a little nicer.
Look at this guy, for instance, huh? Ooh, pointy.
That right there, my friends, is an F-16. I've seen many of these flying in an air show.
That is a sweet-looking vehicle. Kind of reminds me of Top Gun, huh?
Iceman.
Ooh, weird.
Fighter jets are cool, but you can see those in basically any airplane museum.
A lot of small towns and small airports will have them on display, but what you don't often see
are things like this.
Holy moly.
Look at the
size of these things.
They are absolutely massive.
Intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs.
Remember when Superman had to destroy all these in that movie with Christopher Reeve?
These are pieces of those big boys that we could have fired from North Dakota and, you know, hit Moscow.
We had zillions of these, and so did they, all pointed at each other's cities.
Dude, the whole world could have been destroyed with just a couple of rash decisions.
Not that things are that different today, really.
I mean,
who knows how many of these things we have parked out there, ready to destroy the world. Maybe these things couldn't blow up the entire Earth. They could just end all life on Earth. No big deal.
These things are freaky. I don't know about you, but when I was growing up, the only time you ever even saw these things on TV,
or even in movies, was in the context of people talking about how the world was going to be blown up and we were all going to be killed, and not fun conversations.
Pretty darn crazy. Don't get me wrong, I mean, if they're going to be out there in the world, then I'm glad that we've got them and we've got more of them and they're bigger and better.
But it would be nice someday to live in a world where we don't need things like this.
In the meantime, though, I guess they are pretty fun to look at.
Would you look at the size of some of the planes carrying these things?
I mean, that is an impressive wingspan.
Ooh, look at this cargo bay here. They're loading a B-3 thermonuclear weapon in there with the MHU-7M bomb lift trailer. I know that because it's on the sign. What do you do for work? Oh, I design bomb lift trailers to load thermonuclear devices up into giant secret aircraft.
That is wild. I gotta be honest with you guys, it is really darn hot out here. There's a lot of sunshine.
I mean, I'm pretty covered, you know.
But boy, oh boy, I am feeling the heat out here.
Whoa, if this is what I think it is, then this over here is even crazier than this stuff.
Because I'm pretty sure that is an atomic cannon.
Yeah, look at that. For a little while, they were building cannons capable of shooting a nuclear bomb. Whoa, or I guess would that be nuclear bullet? Nuclear projectile? And a nuclear.
The point is, look at the size of that massive cannon.
Just the truck used to pull this thing around is flipping ginormous.
I'm a pretty peaceful guy, but I gotta tell you, it would have been pretty cool to see that thing shooting, you know? Gigantic. Kaboom!
Yeah, this place is awesome.
You might even say this place is the bomb, huh?
The bomb. Oh no, I think Julio got in trouble.
Sir, we caught your chicken trying to rearm several of the nuclear devices. I don't need to tell you how highly inappropriate that is.
It'll never happen again.
Well, you're darn right it'll never happen again. Your chicken is banned from this museum.
Well, what do you have to say for yourself, trying to rearm the nuclear devices? I can't take him anywhere. Well, now we're going somewhere I want to go. Oh, yes. Literally just steps away from old Route 66. I've returned to one of the most beautiful historic places around. Old Town Albuquerque. Until last year when I did my big Route 66 trip, I had no idea this area even existed. First technically part of Spain, then technically part of Mexico, then the United States. This place is old. Nice to see the old church again, one of the oldest in the U.S. Wonderful to see the beautiful old historic plaza. I gotta be honest with you, I really wasn't feeling that great today. I think I might have a little bit of a cold or something. I don't know. I've just been feeling slow and sluggish, but seeing all these natives selling their jewelry and the old historic buildings, I don't know. The old town charm is just healing my soul. I am really happy I got a chance to come back here. It's much more peaceful and serene than going and looking at nuclear bombs. I love any place that's full of good souvenir shops, especially ones with very brightly colored souvenirs. Ooh, now that's a dress. Whoa, look at these. I probably wouldn't be nearly as tan if I would just learn to wear one of these, huh? Makes me feel like dancing a little. Just not sure that it would fit in the car. Oh yeah, great mix of guns and emojis and classical ninja swords. Traditional New Mexican hats. Maybe the most epic snow globe I've ever seen. That's awesome. Uh-oh, you can't turn around in this town without seeing a little Breaking Bad stuff. Earlier I broke one of the mugs. My bad. No, I didn't really. That's just a terrible Breaking Bad joke. Ooh, getting a little chilly outside. Get it? There's a lot of cool shops here, a lot of cool art on display. But it's also got one of my favorite tourist attractions of all time. The Rattlesnake Museum, a world-famous happy place. Whoa, there's a lot more people in the Rattlesnake Museum than there were last time I visited. Check this out. I know most of them are holding still, but do not be deceived. These are not stuffed. These are live rattlesnakes. The Rattlesnake Museum here has the largest collection of different live rattlesnake species anywhere. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to stop here every time I come to Albuquerque now. Because there's just something sexy about snakes. Fair enough that we saw most of this place last year, but I cannot help coming back. There's such a weird mix of live snakes, old snake-related comic books, Steve Irwin memorabilia, strange skeletons, including this giraffe skull back here. Whoa, that's pretty cool, huh, buddy? Even Australian and Native American-related snake art. Well, not all snakes, some lizards too. Snakes are definitely a big phobia for most people, but they don't freak me out. Well, as long as they're safely behind glass anyway. I mean, I don't think I'd want one in my sleeping bag. That would be different. It's not all snakes either. That right there is a Gila monster, a very poisonous lizard. I wouldn't want that guy biting my Gila. Alright, today is a weird day, and we're pretty much running out of time. There's some other cool stuff I'm hoping to see before I get home to California, so it's probably time to head out. But before I leave the Rattlesnake Museum entirely, I can't forget the most important part. The sweet t-shirts. Well, it took me an entire year, but I finally got a black one. Pretty darn cool. Oh, be quiet. You're just jealous because you're afraid of snakes. Alright, well, it was a weird day, but we got to look at some old things, some nuclear things, some slithery things. Spent a lot of time in the very hot sun the last couple of days. That's probably why I'm a little off. But it just goes to show you, even if you're tired and not feeling well, you can still have an adventure. Sometimes you need to just push through it. Alright, thank you guys for coming with me. I've managed to make another video. You've managed to watch another video.
So we've all done our duty. We can go home
and sleep well.
Just remember one thing, boys and girls. These videos is all supported by its own audience, so you can support the show monthly or with Patreon, or you can get yourself a sweet t-shirt or something like that. But the videos is free, so make sure you subscribe and keep coming back and watching more adventures.
Wow, couldn't have said it better myself, but I think everybody's wondering, what happened to your hand again?
Well, you know, a lot of people ask me, and my name's Old Fred, about these here fingers, which Texas Slim done shot off a long time ago. Of
course, that was after the aliens abducted my eyeball. You should have seen them. They came in their flying saucers, and they was flying all across the sky. Went to Roswell, and I was out there picking up some trash which I left on the highway the week before, because I'm something of a little...
I love a good story, but sometimes just too long. Just like this video.
Because I'm something of a litter bug. When they came and just took my eyeball right down out while they were probing around in there, and they never put it back. So I got this eye patch here, but don't you worry about it. I'll keep an eye on my store, because I was careful out here, you know. But the Texas Slim, he shot off my fingers, and I don't know why. I think he was just funning around, but it's okay now. Because I got one eye, and I got the other hand's got some fingers, and it's okay. Is anybody still there?